Oh yeah.
Oh man,
Oh
that's
yeah.
nice.
Listen,
That's
we in here.
nice. That's nice.
Yes, sir.
That is nice,
That is
nice,
nice.
nice. Nice
Nice.
upon nice.
Yeah. We here.
Welcome.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's do this.
We back up in here.
Let's do this.
Oh yeah.
Coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. Welcome to the Me and D
Pops and Son.
podcast.
For that ass.
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 No Diddy. No doubt.
No Diddy.
Today is
No
June
Diddy.
15th, 2025. We thank you all so much for listening to us,
Okay.
watching us, however you hang out with us. We appreciate that. And to paraphrase the immortal Sly Stone, who passed away this past week, thank you for letting us be ourselves again.
Again.
Wow.
Wow.
Happy Father's Day, son.
Happy Father's Day. Happy
to
Father's
all
Day,
the fathers
Pops.
out there.
All the fathers. Salute.
All the mothers who act like a father.
Right,
The fathers who
hey.
act like a mother.
Right. All the mothers who act like a father.
And the fathers who act like a mother.
And the fathers who act like mothers. Happy Father's Day.
Happy
what I'm
Father's Day.
saying? Father's Day. Keep going. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's
Let's get it. Rest in peace. Let's pay some respects to that man I just mentioned, Sly Stone, musician and songwriter, passed away earlier this week. Also, it was a tough week for musicians and founders. Beach Boys founder and writer Brian Wilson passed away.
Dang. Beach
NBA
Boys.
star David Greenwood. To MTV VJ Ananda Lewis. She lost her battle with breast cancer.
Damn.
That was a big loss.
Yeah.
Actor Harris Yulin. He was in Scarface, and I'm trying to think what else someone would have remembered him in. He was a little crooked cop in Scarface.
Oh, for real.
To Mabel Marbury, Stefan Marbury's mom, she passed this week. To Lauren
That's
Rutch,
unfortunate.
co-host of HTV's House Party, and he was the head of content for the network. To Uriah Rennie, the Premier League's first African-American referee, and Day of the Jackal author Frederick Forsyth. So rest in peace to those folks.
To those people.
Birthdays being celebrated today. Cooper Kupp, Seattle Seahawks wide receiver now.
Mr.
Played
Triple
for
Crown.
the Rams formerly, won a Super Bowl, was the MVP 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Pitcher Tim Lincecum celebrates a birthday. He went to the World Series in 2010, 12, 14.
Oh, yeah. He was cold.
He was cold.
He was
with
cold.
The San Francisco Giants. Won a Cy Young in 2008 and 2009. Nice. Pitched no-hitters in 2013 and 14. Man, I forgot about the no-hitters. Tony Clark, baseball infielder. Now he's the executive of the MLB Players Association.
Tony Clark.
So, Happy birthday, Tony.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Golfer Justin Leonard won the British Open and 12 other PGA titles. Happy birthday. Andy Pettitte, New York Yankees pitcher.
Okay.
One of my favorite managers, Dusty Baker, celebrates a birthday
Dusty,
today.
Musty, Trusty.
Mike Holmgren, NFL coach with the Packers and the Seahawks.
Okay, Mike Holmgren.
Celebrates a birthday. To rapper, actor Ice Kirby, Ice Cube. Celebrates
today was
birthday
a good day.
Yep. To actress Leah Remini of King of Queens.
She got the remedy.
The remedy for Remini.
The remedy for Remini.
Actor Neil Patrick Harris, How I Met Your Mother, Doogie Howser celebrates a birthday. To actress Eileen Davidson, Young and the Restless fame.
To the left.
And Courtney Cox. And you all remember her from Friends. Happy birthday to those folks. History on this day, June the 15th in 2019. This is a memorable one. In a blockbuster NBA trade, the New Orleans Pelicans sent forward Anthony Davis to the LA Lakers for Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Josh Hart, and 3 future first-round draft picks. Yeah, all just for him.
All
I
three
want to figure out all 3 of them. I want to figure out who the first-round picks end up being. I bet you by now they would have been used.
For
2019?
for the Pelicans. The Pelicans, did they receive first round picks?
They got 3.
One of them had to been Zion, right?
I'm
Or did
thinking.
they? Was that the lottery? I don't know. I don't know if that was due to the lottery or is that because they had that. I don't know. Yeah,
We'd
we
have to
would have
go
to follow
back and
that.
do a little
Yeah,
research. That's why I
it
said I
didn't
want
win
to go
out
back
for
and
them. They
find out.
they ain't win nothing yet.
But
It
the
worked out
thing
for
is, now
LA.
the Lakers don't even have Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
You
got a
gave up
ring out
all
of it.
those. Yeah, they did get a ring out of it in the bubble. But anyway, in 2015, Chicago's Duncan Keith scores in the second period and directs a dominant defense that shuts down Tampa Bay's high-scoring attack, and the Blackhawks beat the Lightning 2-0 in Game 6 for their third NHL title in the past 6 seasons. 2014, the San Antonio Spurs win their 5th NBA championship, beating the Miami Heat, the Heatles, 104-87 to win the series in 5 games.
Heatles.
Michael Jordan never would have lost. 2011, the Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup for the first time since 1972 when they beat the Vancouver Canucks 4-0 in Game 7 of the finals. 2008, down to his last stroke at Torrey Pines, Tiger Woods sinks a 12-foot birdie putt on a broken leg, mind you, to force an 18-hole playoff against Rocco Mediate for the U.S. Open. They finished at 1 under 283 for the first time since 2004 that someone breaks par in the U.S. Open. 2004, Detroit beats the L.A. Lakers 187 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals for the Pistons' first championship in 14 years. 2003, here go the Spurs again. They beat the New Jersey Nets.
Yeah, they was running it up
for a franchise second title. The MVP of the series was Tim Duncan. 2001, the Lakers beat the 76ers 108-96 in Game 5 of the NBA Finals to complete the best playoff run in NBA history. The Lakers, who finished the playoffs with a record of 15-1, are the first to go through the playoffs undefeated on the road. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's when they beat AI. Yeah.
Yep. That was prime Kobe and Shaq.
Yep, sure was.
Pretty much prime Shaq for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
That was prime Shaq for sure.
Definitely prime Shaq. 1984, American boxer Thomas Hearns retains his WBC light middleweight title with second round KO of Roberto Duran. Damn, it marks the first time in its illustrious history that Duran had been knocked out. 1980, Jack Nicklaus wins his 4th U.S. Open with a record 272 for 72 holes. And in 1951, Joe Louis scored his last knockout victories. Man. Okay. Rest in peace, birthdays, and some history. Yeah. And there's so much more I could have chosen. I'm like, man, I'll spend all day just going through history.
A lot of history on today.
A lot of history on the 15th. Gee. And this time of year, of course, with all the sports that go on.
Right.
Yeah, as they start ending the hockey finals, NBA finals. You got golf, PGA going on. And to mention that, things happening. What's on tap?
What's happening? What's on tap?
Final round of the PGA Championship is today. Sam Burns is your leader at -4. Sam Burns. Game 5 of the NBA Finals will be tomorrow night, Monday. Series is tied up 2 apiece. Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final will take place Tuesday night. Florida leads 3-2. The Men's College World Series resumes today, and the finals will be held Saturday, June the 21st, which is this Saturday coming up. And then the PGA Championship will start this Thursday, the 19th. Also, MLB's Draft Combine takes place starting this Thursday.
Okay,
that's some of the things that's on tap for this week. What's on tap?
What's on tap? What's the haps with the tap?
Man, I should have popped this right.
Shake them up, shake them up, shake them up, shake them. Product
placement. Sell some of this. Get out of your mama's basement.
Sell some of this and get out your mama's basement. That's it right there. You gotta have your product placement. Sell some of this.
Get out of your mama's basement. There you go. That's a shirt.
That's a shirt. The excess.
We are powered by
excess.
Who's had a worse week?
This
is our first question of the day, son. The Cincinnati Bengals They got their stud defensive end, Trey Hendrickson, not in camp, and their rookie draft pick, not in camp, or the New York Knicks. Who's had a worse week?
What happened with the New York Knicks?
They've been begging people to interview their coach, and everybody's turned them down.
Dang.
So everybody's turned them down.
So they didn't even have a plan.
No.
Because we were talking like, okay, y'all must have had,
right.
You must have had, that's like you quit your job and, okay, I'm expecting you starting on Monday. You starting a new job on Monday. Oh, you didn't even
hey, man, what you doing? You at work? Huh? I thought you said you quit your job.
Well, you said you quit your job, right? Yeah, I quit my job.
Man,
you ain't had no backup? You don't start in 2 weeks? Like to something? Dang, after knowing that, I'm gonna say New York. It's now as far as Cincinnati Bengals, they paid the receivers, they played Jamar.
But that's when I thought they were back on track.
That's what I'm saying. That's when you think, but no, they let you know what the Bengals do. It's one of those organizations, they're frugal. They're frugal with their money. They said, well, we got a little bit left over.
What money?
What money? But I'm going to say the New York Knicks, the fact that you didn't have a backup plan after you fired your coach. Now, it's one thing, because Tibbs, don't get me wrong, Tibbs got you to the Eastern Conference Finals.
You hadn't been there in 25 years.
You haven't been there in a while. So we're thinking, oh, okay, you're going to get rid of him. You must have someone who's going to just get you over the top. That's what we talked about last week. Check out last week's episode. But you didn't have no one? You didn't have no one in the pipeline?
Yeah, they were trying to get the assistant coach from your Hawks. That's what I'm saying. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, that's bad.
You're desperate, man. They tried to get Jason Kidd, and I'll bring him up in just a little bit.
That's bad.
You got nobody that wants to go there. But why would you? I just watched a man get a team to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in 25 years.
And y'all gave him the boot.
The last few years, they've been ascending to get there.
Yep.
And you would think the natural progression would be, okay, he got us this far. Let's get Tibbs one more season and see if he can get us over the hump.
Then give me one more chance. And another one.
And another one.
Dang. That's that. Yeah, that. What?
So we're going on 2 weeks now. I know I said who's had a worse week, but this week got worse for them because all of the people that they want to interview, they're getting denied. They're not even giving them the opportunity to interview them.
But just like that point that you just made, why would I want to put my job? Because obviously they were listening to the fans, they were listening to the organization, but we thought there was some type of backing to that. We thought there was like I
still say it's Mike Malone. It's got to be Mike Malone, but maybe he don't want the job,
right? But if he ain't got it yet, it should.
He must not want it.
As soon as you fire Tibbs, a week later, we should already be
know.
Announcing who it is.
Mm-hmm.
But on my life,
you're good.
No, you good. Okay, cool. But no, that's also a New York thing to do. That's
that's like, the moment. Not even giving it much thought. Yeah,
that's an emotional decision.
Emotional decision.
Emotions.
I'm emotional, and I can't let go.
So who's had a worse week? I'm gonna say New York. Bengals. Hopefully they can figure out their situation. They got some money.
They got the money,
you can cut some. You can find the money to pay. You can find the money to pay, especially Trey Hendrickson.
Well, the other thing and the young man's name is Shamar Stewart. I want to make sure that is correct.
Is Shamar Morrison?
Shamar Stewart. Yep, that's it. Shamar Stewart is the player that they drafted. Now, the thing that puzzles me is rookie contracts are slotted. So we know exactly what he's going to make being the 19th pick. So what in the language of the agreement of the contract has this man holding out?
That's it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's a puzzling thing for me. So Bengals, how could you mess this up? You know what the man is going to make. So it's not about the money. It's about the language. Who's drawing up the contracts? Who's responsible for that?
Right.
And just to put this in perspective, I went back and looked at the NFLPA survey at the end of the season. The Bengals were 24th. They moved up from 26th a year ago, but ownership was ranked 25th overall. And it's for this reason.
Oh, absolutely for this reason.
Ownership is, like D said, stingy, frugal, cheap. They operate $1 billion business like it's a lemonade stand. Like, it's just anybody can do it. We'll just do it any kind of way. Again, how can you mess up the language in the man's contract? You know exactly what he's going to make. So money's not the issue. Somebody, whoever draws up, writes up your contracts is an idiot. Because right now, this man is not in camp. I'm still not understanding Trey Hendrickson. He's been the sack leader for your team.
Anybody would love to have him.
Oh, my goodness. I'm sitting there thinking, man, who would the Niners have left to trade? They don't even have anybody left to trade to get him.
If we can get him in Atlanta.
And that's the thing. I've said if he went anywhere, that's where he would go.
I don't know.
But, hey.
I don't know if we got much. I don't know what we have to.
I don't know what you had to offer.
Right. We ain't got too much to offer. But you know what I'm going to say about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Go ahead.
They got too much stock in that Skyline chili. That's where all the money's going. That Skyline chili ain't making you no money. Y'all got too much.
You get way too much money invested
in that Skyline chili.
That nasty ass.
And you can't pay your players. Cut ties.
Cut ties with them. Get the golden. What is the gold something? They always put. It's the gold something chili, but anyway.
Was it gold standard or?
That's I think gold star. Gold star chili.
Yeah, the gold star.
They're both nasty, so take my advice. Don't partake of it. But yeah, who's had a worse week? So if I had to say, I'm still gonna go with you. I'm gonna side with you.
They both had pretty tough weeks.
They had some tough weeks.
Both self-inflicting weeks, though. That's some stuff that you can
all
control.
Could have been avoided.
Yeah.
The next segment is called "Are You Kidding Me?"
Are you kidding me?
Are you kidding me?
You gotta be kidding me.
You gotta be kidding me. And you're telling me that someone who has never won a title as a coach was the hot name to replace Tom Thibodeau. And I'm speaking to Jason Kidd, who's currently coach of the Dallas Mavericks.
They desperate.
His record overall, listen to this, 273 and 264. He's 9 wins above 500.
Oh,
he's 9 wins above being average. You think he's going to leave Dallas and coach you to an NBA title? It's not happening. He's an average coach.
It's not happening. I didn't realize he's accumulated that many games that he's coached.
With Milwaukee.
He's been in the league for a while.
He's been in the league for a little bit.
Yeah, but just average, not really doing nothing.
He's an average coach.
Team's not going to really do nothing. It's honestly like, damn.
It really makes New York look like idiots. Because that's who you had on as your preferred target, your preferred coach. Now they're talking about possibly bringing Jeff Van Gundy back, which I think would be good. I think
he ain't going to do it.
He's not going to get him over the hump. He ain't get him over the hump in his prime.
Hey, yo, son, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Hey, yo, son, is you dumb? Like, what was y'all?
Hey, yo, B.
Hey, yo, B.
Hey, yo, B.
Hey, is you
What's
dumb?
Up, kid? Hey, yo, kid. Who's this coach, kid?
Who's your man's? Like, for real. Hey, now I feel, man, y'all got rid of Thibodeau. You didn't have nobody.
For no reason.
For no reason. You could have just kept him there.
At least one more season to see if he could get you over the hump.
Exactly, especially because all the chemistry. Go back to say he was chipping away. He brought them back to the forefront of just basketball. He made them relevant again. He actually got them to an Eastern Conference.
That should have saved his job because we didn't even think they should be there.
Yeah, that should have saved his job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it was one thing, if they got boosted out of the first round or they lost to Detroit or something like that. And you're like, okay, Tibbs, it's not working.
Yeah, it's run its course.
They started getting hot. They started beating teams. They beat Boston. Even though Jason Tatum's down, they still beat Boston Celtics team. That's the championship right there.
Exactly.
And then you're battling in the Eastern Conference Finals. Should have won that first game, but he still got you farther than what you've been doing in the past and made you relevant. And it's actually put New York people, could have
put a lot of butts in the seats.
Put a lot of butts in the seats, man. So
that place was sold out. It was raucous. It was wild. It got to the point they throwing bags of trash, and
you got the You got the celebrities out.
The celebrities coming back. You got the past Knicks stars coming back to support. And you ain't got all that momentum. You got nobody.
You're gonna regret.
You should hire me indeed.
For real, coach. Because you just set yourself back. Because if you don't have a coach that can produce what Tibbs did or better, you can just hang up next season up too.
Just think if you bring Cat and Jalen Brunson back, just bring back that whole team. Just say it goes that way with another year under Thibodeau, because you got to. Remember, this was their first year together.
All together, yeah.
So get all the chemistry going for a second year. He might get you back to the Eastern Conference Finals and maybe even further. But yeah, are you kidding me?
No, Jason Kidd was
one of the main people that after Mike Malone, after whoever else, Jason Kidd is who you want to.
Nobody.
You want to be calling? No, I'm good.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, son. All right, moving on. A new segment for us is called Pops' Pop Culture Question of the Week.
Let's go.
All right, son. Other than movies with Man, tell me the last big boy grown-up movie that you saw at the theater.
Oh, okay. Oh, man.
Besides movies
with Man.
Right.
When's the last time I actually went to the movie theater to see
like a grown-up?
Yeah, like a grown-up movie. Oh, man, it had to been.
Right, when you were little, like when
the last I'm trying to think of just grown up movie, like I mean before Man was born, like me and Ash, we went to go see Aquaman. But that's still like that still can be that's a superhero. I mean,
that's a grown up. It's still a grown up movie. Though.
We went to go see Aquaman, but that was back in college. That had to been like that was pre-COVID.
So it had
like 18, 19. Yeah, it's probably 19. That was probably like 19. Yeah, for real. Yeah, probably like back in 2019. Had to been.
I can't even tell you, son. I was sitting there the other day and I meant to ask your mom, when's the last time we actually went to the theater? I really can't put a finger on it. I can't tell you the last movie that I actually saw in the theater.
Yeah, no, because if it wasn't for Jamari, we wouldn't be even. Because now we've been going to the movie theater. Now he's older. We saw Paw Patrol. We just saw How to Train Your Dragon.
How was that?
That was a real good movie. It's the live action one. But so they got the real actors in there, and they great story. It's a great movie anyway. But and we saw it.
Check that out.
We saw it in 4D. So you got the glasses, and then like the chair would move. The chair would move too. It was actually pretty good. But
how did he like it?
Oh, yeah, he enjoyed it.
He enjoyed it.
First, he didn't know what was going on because everything was moving so much.
Right.
He had to get settled. But no, we really enjoyed it. We saw that on Friday. But, man, if it wasn't for him, everything you really need to watch is right here on the TV.
Exactly.
I ain't paying no. Yeah.
Because it's coming to the small screen in a couple of weeks.
Oh, you just gotta wait. You just
have to wait.
Don't go on social media. You don't have to really see no spoilers.
Yeah, don't watch the trailer. Don't watch no trailer. Watch the trailer because that's gonna be on TV and it's gonna be on the internet. But you're right. Yeah.
So that was So that's what. That's all of like 6 years ago.
6, 7 years ago.
6, 7 years ago.
I can't even tell you. I know I haven't been in the last 6, 7 years. I couldn't even tell you.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. So that is Pops's pop culture question.
That is a great
of
question.
The week. We'll be bringing that back off and on throughout. Moving on to the NBA Finals, son.
Man.
SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had a steady performance. Jalen Williams contributed as well. And the Thunder left Indianapolis with a split after Friday night's game. And as we mentioned, the series is tied 2-2.
2 apiece.
OKC is taking control of home court again. And I'm still on track for a 6-game series, as I said.
Yeah, they won at each other's hometown. It's pretty much like you won 2 at your thing. They split 2-2, so no matter how you divide it up, they're even. So you go into game 5. I can see OKC winning in that. Usually, I forgot the percentage, but usually the team that wins game 5 ends up winning the whole thing.
Right.
I think it's like an 85% chance of the
Even
team
if
who
they
wins.
go back to Indy and lose.
Right.
I see them coming back for game 7 and winning it all.
I still got them winning it all. These teams are real evenly matched, but
and
I got
they're
OKC,
evenly matched.
Very evenly matched. But I got OKC, and then they'll win again. But yeah, even like you said, even if they don't win that game 6, I still see them winning in game 7 in OKC. But I don't know. Indy might surprise you, but I think as far as who's the better team, and Indiana is very good.
They gave that game away the other night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They should have had that game.
Right. I feel like they could have.
If they lose the series, they'll be looking back on and say, that's when we lost it. Because you had control of the entire game.
They did.
And all of a sudden, SGA, he just kept forcing the issue, kept going to that elbow, and he was killing them. And then I think they said he went to the line 14 times. And he wasn't missing his free throws.
That's easy money right there. 14
easy
times.
Money.
That's 14 points.
That's 14 points. I think he might have missed one.
Well, he might have missed. Yeah, you might as well.
Right.
Potentially 14 points, but just no one's guarding you. No one's in your face. It's
and he was able to rest.
That's also the other thing. Crucial. That is very crucial for a player of his caliber. That's why in the fourth quarter he can score. In the fourth quarter, didn't he score like 15 points or something like that?
Yeah, it was
close
crazy.
to like 15 points just in the fourth quarter alone.
He scored like 9 points in a row because they had no answer for him.
I like SGA. I like his old school mentality. I think also Tyrese Halliburton is like that old school too as well. But I like SGA. He gets to his spots. He doesn't do ill-advised threes. He gets to the lane. Obviously gets to the lane, gets to the basket, midi-committee. And I think he had the most points in the first 2 games in the finals. I think one game he had 34.
It was like
other game he had 38, I want to say.
37, 38.
Yeah, 37, 38, that is crazy. I don't think that's something we can just look over.
No.
That's just, I know it's like the high scoring is not as, I don't know. I guess it's just
played out. It's not in vogue. It's not sexy anymore.
People are getting 30 points, 30-point games like nothing now. So
but his 30 points means something.
It's crucial in crucial minutes and crucial times, man. So
because he doesn't take a lot of shots. That's if you look at it. He's typically over 50% from the field, and he's not a big man just doing layups. He's shooting that, like you said, that mid-range jumper.
Basketball.
Man, the dude, I trip off how he goes through a double team, and he weaves his way through. Next thing you know, he's at the basket.
He can play some basketball.
Dude can ball. He can ball. And I know we talked about it a little bit in the chat.
That's crazy.
Where all these Canadian players coming from?
For real, though.
Benedict Mathurin, man, that dude's got some game now. He missed some crucial free throws.
He did.
But Nembhard's a good little ball player. Get out of here, Nembhard.
Is it Nembhard again?
Go Nembhard again.
Damn.
But he's got game.
He does.
Who else is from Canada? Man.
On the team or just in general?
Just in general.
Jamal Murray's from Canada.
That's right. Jamal Murray.
Dylan Brooks.
Yep.
Dylan the villain. Dylan Brooks is from Canada. Because I remember when I guess it was the Olympics when we went against Canada. That was a team that could actually maybe give us a little run for our money.
They got some players.
They do got some young players as well, some killers. But yeah, they are coming out the woodwork for real. I know that just shows you how the game is just evolving, just to different areas, but.
That's what that dream team did back in 92.
It's evolving for sure. Basketball is everywhere.
Everywhere. But yeah, it's been a good series to your point. Very evenly matched. And I was telling somebody the other day, I've enjoyed this series more than, I can't say I haven't enjoyed when my Warriors are playing before. For a series where I don't have a dog in the fight.
Right.
I'm really enjoying this series. A lot of times I would just catch it on the periphery, maybe watch some highlights or watch part of a game.
Right, yeah.
But I'm invested. I'm like, damn, it's tip-off time. Let me sit down.
And watch this game.
And watch the game, yeah. Might be doing something else. But yeah, it's been a great series.
It goes back and forth.
I can actually say that. It goes back and forth. the ebbs and flows of it. It keeps you intrigued and good series. I
It's
still
good
got
basketball.
OKC in 6. Yeah,
really good basketball. Really good basketball.
Halliburton's passing is, man, it's underrated.
It's really
those
good.
passes he was making the other night, no looks. I'm like, oh, you're reminding me of Magic right now.
He's an old school player. Like
he is.
They both give you.
They got old school vibes.
They got old school vibes. They play team basketball. They're not selfish. It's really good basketball. Like you just alluding to, it's just really good basketball to watch. And a true basketball fan,
you appreciate it.
Yeah, I really don't care that it's not a big marquee team, Boston, Lakers, in New York, all that and stuff like that. Doesn't really matter to me. I just want to see just some good basketball. If it's not my team or one of my favorite players, I just want to see some good basketball. And this has been really good.
It has.
For real.
It has.
For real.
You got my attention.
You got my attention.
Happenings in and around college sports. D, this story has flown under the radar, and I cannot figure out why, but I'm happy because we're able to talk about it here. In the blink of an eye, Brian Seeley is the new king of college sports, but more importantly, college football will have someone with oversight. Shortly after the House passed the bill that awarded schools the money to start paying its players last week, Seeley was named the CEO of the new College Sports Commission. The NCAA will no longer be in charge of the enforcement of most rules. It will still maintain purview over things like academics, but it will not patrol benefits. That's huge.
That is
huge.
Big.
The CSC is the new enforcement arm that will have a final say in doling out punishments and deciding when rules have been broken. Seeley was hired by the 4 Power Conference commissioners, the ACC's Jim Phillips, Big Ten's Tony Petitti, Big 12's Brett Yormark, and SEC's Greg Sankey. Per their release, Seeley and his team will also be responsible for enforcement of the new rules around revenue sharing, student-athlete third-party name, image, and likeness, and roster limits. That's huge. You got a new sheriff in town.
For real, though. He's calling the shots.
Now the money's going to be evenly distributed. If you cross the lines, there's going to be punishment.
Right.
NCAA now, to me, almost useless.
Wait, for real, I think
they have no power.
You take the power away from them because over the years they've had a lot of just influence, and that's just been bias. And bias, depending on who it is or how they're doing their rulings, it just seems like they're almost getting paid off themselves as far as make this decision. So you take that power away from them, and honestly, I think the role now is like the role they should have had from the get-go, as far as just like the academics, the things of that nature, the more of the collegiate level stuff, as far as like the money and the distribution like that. Yeah, put that in someone else's plate to do. I think they had too much control over the whole thing.
I agree.
You really couldn't combat that. It was whatever they said goes, but now you got someone else to intervene with that.
And the conferences and the commissioners pick their own person. And the thing I like about him, D, and just give you a little background on him, up to now, he has been Major League Baseball's executive vice president of legal operations. So he brings investigative experience and I guess oversight. That's his background. So if somebody does something wrong, that's who's going to be responsible for investigating and doling out the punishment. And again, the commissioners agreed to this is who they handpicked.
Right.
And the thing I also like is they didn't pick someone with a football background. They picked someone totally separated. He don't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah.
He can be fair. There's no partisanship. I like it. I like the fact that they did this. Again, to me, this is a huge story. I'm surprised we're not hearing more about it because NCAA, they don't want us to hear it.
He said, no, don't release that.
Right. You don't have to release that.
Just let the news spread word of mouth. Just gotta let them talk amongst themselves.
But you would think more sports shows, more. This is a big deal. NCAA is basically powerless. Their power has been taken from them.
They better go watch Power with Ghost.
Exactly, Ghost and Ghost 2.
Ghost Book 2.
Damn.
Raising Kanan. Right.
Did you know this was a thing?
Did you know this was a thing?
I can admit unashamedly, I did not know this was a thing, and I'm not trying to be funny. Women's sports bars. Did you know that was a thing?
Women's sports bars. I guess I probably wasn't really thinking about it as far as is that just mean just like so, sports bar catered just for women?
Yeah, so the sports bra sports bar is coming to St. Louis.
Sports bra.
Yeah, the original sports bra, which opened in Portland, Oregon in April of 2022, is the brainchild of entrepreneur Jenny Nguyen. She wanted to create a space that celebrated women and girls in sports. Other women's centered sports bars have sprung up across the country since then, including the 99ers Sports Bar in Denver, Colorado, Rough and Tumble in Seattle, Washington, and Title IX Sports Grill in Phoenix. The Sports Bra also is opening locations in Indianapolis, Boston, and Las Vegas.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
Dang.
And all their sports programming is all
women's sports,
female centric, all women centered. And I was telling somebody that's a great place to meet women.
Oh, perfect place. Let's go down to the sports bar.
Let's go down to the female sports
Because honestly, if you're a man and you love sports, that's a lot of time in a relationship. You with someone, usually the woman doesn't really like the sports, and they don't really understand why. You can cut all that out.
The fact that you met her there, she likes sports.
I know. So we can watch it on Sundays. We can watch Caitlin Clark and them, Angel Reese and them. Yeah. We can watch Flage. Right. We can watch all the women's sports. That's honestly good, and that's good for women too. So it's not, because if you go to a regular bar, it's probably a male dominant bar.
It's a male dominant atmosphere.
Because there's a lot of fanatical women's sports fans as far as who just watch.
Just look at jersey sales, and you have the pink jerseys with different players' numbers on it.
Yeah.
Or just in general. But now they have a place where,
like a safe haven, they can go.
A safe haven, and that's funny you say that. They say that one of the quotes I read, they have a place of or sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And that's huge. That's huge. And I think that's great, but I really did not know it was a thing.
That's
until
crazy.
I read about it, and I can't wait till it comes. Apparently, or supposedly, the one here will be ready by 2026. And I say we stop in there and have a cold one and watch a ball game or two.
Yeah, shoot, why not? Especially if you're single looking to mingle, shoot. You might as well pull up, but it's not about that. It's not about that. It's not
for us. It's not about that.
It's not about that.
If you're single, like you said, ready to mingle.
I'm just saying, but overall, it's not for like dudes just to pull up. I'm sure it's not the emphasis for dudes just to pull up there. Like, this is for women who want to watch sports. But
it is a great place, though, to meet.
I'm sure they probably want to watch sports without even getting hollered at too. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes they just want to, because
they could have just went to the regular sports bar.
Right. That's what. Yeah. If I wanted to get hollered at, they probably just, man, I'm just trying to watch the Knicks. You over here,
man. I'm just trying to watch the game. You just ate a whole basket of wings. You ain't looked at one play.
You over here trying to holler. I'm just trying to watch this Knicks. Okay. You go to the regular bar.
Right.
That's what's up, though.
No. And so to piggyback off that, it's funny how all this coincides. Actress Whoopi Goldberg co-founded the All Women Sports Network, or AWSN, which is the first ever global sports network exclusively dedicated to female athletes in sports. The network shows sports from all over the world free and is exclusively on Pluto TV, which is an arm of Paramount/CBS.
Okay.
And I watched it. I had it on up until we just came on. I had it on for 2 hours. They had 2 cricket matches, but in between they do these female profiles, and one of them was on Clarissa Shields, the boxer.
Okay.
And I didn't really know her humble beginnings. I didn't know her dad was in jail for most of her childhood. Didn't know that about her. But they do these little vignettes of female athletes, and you get to know them.
Get a little spotlight, a little highlight about their background.
This is going to be a growing trend, but I applaud Whoopi Goldberg and congratulations to her for that. I saw her talking about it earlier in the week, and she said she's a big sports fan. Her brother got her interested in sports, and they'd go all over New York watching different events. And she said she just wanted an outlet for women to be able to be able to enjoy themselves and feel comfortable and feel inclusive. And I think that's the main thing that we're talking about. feeling inclusive and have a sense of belonging. Yeah, congratulations to her. Y'all get a chance to check it out. AWSN, all right?
Oh, yeah.
AWSN. Shout out to them.
Yep.
On Pluto TV.
Go ahead, Whoopi. Yeah, she's also playing Booker T in the autobiography movie coming out. Shout out to
sucker.
Shout out to Whoopi. She got big things coming, man.
Big things popping.
Big things popping.
All right, son. It's back. It's time for The Wild.
The Wild.
And the Weird.
And the Weird.
The Wild and the Weird. The headline this week is another song, Walk This Way.
Walk This Way.
And Talk This
and
Way.
Talk This Way.
Police in South Carolina engaged in a not-so-hot pursuit as they chased a tractor excavator down a main highway for more than an hour at the speed an average adult walks. The chase reached speeds of 3 miles per hour early last Sunday morning. In North Charleston, police said officers on a different call saw the big piece of construction equipment with treads and a shovel in front go across U.S. Highway 78 around 3:30 a.m. A few minutes later, they got a burglary call from a business that was heavily damaged and saw the excavator slowly heading away. Several cars immediately joined in a very slow speed pursuit. The excavator was going so slow that the cruisers would have to briefly stop several times a minute to not pass the construction equipment. They had their blue lights and sirens on and told the excavator driver over their loudspeakers that he was under arrest and needed to stop. Other cruisers blocked traffic. The chase went on for an hour and 12 minutes before the excavator drove onto the Charleston County Fairgrounds property where it got stuck. The driver tried to run but was followed by a drone until a police dog and handler caught up, authorities said. The 53-year-old driver of the excavator was charged with failure to stop for a blue light and 2 counts of malicious injury to real property and remained in the Charleston County Jail on a $22,000 bond, according to jail records.
Dang, he was
3 miles an hour.
And I guess they couldn't stop him because it was going to crush the cars?
Mm-hmm. Because he'd roll right over the top of them, or he could take that little scoop.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So they couldn't even stop him.
They couldn't stop him. The only way they stopped him because he got stuck in the field.
He going 3 miles. It's a high-speed chase. He going 3 miles an hour.
High-speed, low-speed chase.
And he got an excavator?
And if you seen them things, doom, doom, doom.
He just rolling right over the cars.
He can roll right over them. That's why they never got in front of him.
And you can't
you take that shovel too and knock him over.
He can stop. He do a little quick spin.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Quickly. He do a quick spin. Dang.
But he's lucky they didn't try to shoot the glass out.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Like, I'm like,
I wouldn't have went on for no hour.
Right, y'all couldn't shoot the glass out, obviously.
Because if you just shot the glass and not shot him, I think he would have been scared and he would have just stopped. This went on
they
for
didn't do
an
nothing.
hour.
And it's going 3 miles an hour.
3 miles an hour for an hour.
Somebody can't get out the car and just hop on that mug and break the glass.
Maybe we've been watching too many movies.
Maybe we have been watching too many movies. Maybe this doesn't happen. Yeah, that's true. That is a lot of movie stuff.
Right.
But it's going 3 miles an hour.
3 miles an hour. They say you could walk just as fast.
And you could have just hopped on there and just... And 3 people.
Just 3 people.
And try to break the glass and get them out of there. They let it go on for an hour. That's how they ain't had nothing to do.
They ain't had nothing to do.
You ain't had nothing to do. You could have stopped. I figured we could have stopped this in about 20 minutes.
At least 30.
Less than
no
that.
More than 30 minutes. It could have been a wrap.
Because that's the first thing. Okay, he's in an excavator. You can't stop him. Well, park the car and just run after him or something.
Walk. You can walk after him.
I would have.
You didn't have to run.
I don't know.
3 miles an hour.
I would have just. I don't know. I would have had someone else, man. I would have had someone else.
Seriously, I would have shot the glass out just to scare him.
That's what I'm saying.
And just make sure we don't hit him, but just shoot.
Yeah, just shoot the
glass. And he's gonna be like, oh man, 53 years old. He probably would have been. He'd have been scared.
What was he running from? He had warrants.
He just stole it. No, he just stole it. He stole the excavator.
Okay, so him.
Now we need to find out why he stole it.
Yeah, why you stealing the excavator? He's
still in jail. We don't know yet.
Man, I got my own startup construction company. Yeah, we got to go get the excavator right now. What was you gonna do? Put that on Facebook Market?
What were you gonna do with it?
What was you gonna do with the excavator?
Maybe he had a project he was working on and he needed to borrow it and he just didn't have the money to pay for it.
Man, these people ain't fixed the road in front of my house. I'm finna do it myself.
I'm just gonna dig it up myself.
That's crazy.
Yeah, what was the purpose of stealing the excavator?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What was the true cause of that? And what was the plan behind that?
What were you gonna do with it?
Were you gonna sell it? Were you gonna, you can't, because obviously
maybe he was gonna sell it to the Knicks so they can dig up a coach.
He gonna have to do something because that's crazy.
Well, yeah, that's people the crazy. Wild and the weird. That's people crazy, son. All right, let me get that sounder out. I want to get a little.
That product placement. We are powered by X.
We're powered by XS.
Go ahead.
Mango, pineapple, guava. What flavor do you have, son?
Signature. This is the wild berry.
Okay.
That's that purple can. That's that Prince edition. As you said this, you gonna be singing Doves Cry.
Right. And Purple Rain.
And Purple Rain. Purple Rain. But yeah, contact me. We'll show you how you can get your own case, get your hands on this.
All right. Son, it's time for that juicy news. Because you don't know, now you know. Young brother, young sister, young player, Dwight Howard. Getting thrown out yesterday.
Man.
P. Diddy Porter. Family. Cheetah.
Okay, for that juicy news, because if you don't know, now you know. Honestly, we could talk about that. Dwight Howard and then Lance Stevens to get in a fight at the Big 3 tournament. I saw the clip when Trace talked about it.
I was watching the game. That was the second fight that Lance had gotten into.
And honestly, he's still sore. He's still salty about that loss he took to Mike Beasley, losing that $100,000. Because they went at it, and Mike Beasley.
And that was Mike Beasley's team. He was playing against Mike Beasley's team.
Yeah, he was playing against Mike Beasley's team. So, honestly, this is actually good for Ice Cube, and good and bad, because it brings a little exposure.
Ice Cube was like, damn, man, we don't really need this.
Right, right.
Because negative exposure.
It is negative exposure. But sometimes, hey, I think more people might be tuned to watch it. You got some beat going on like that, and you get some players like that. But that's crazy, because we was talking about Dwight Howard. Also basketball related. This is more of a juicy question. So Kevin Durant is supposedly on the move. He's looking for either the Heat, the Spurs, or the Rockets. Question is, will he make an impact to one of those teams? Second question, is he still that type of player that can lead you to a championship if he is on the move? So he got the Heat, Spurs, or the Rockets?
The Heat, no. The Rockets, yes, and the Spurs, yes. I think that's a good spot. I think the Spurs is a great landing spot.
Spurs would be a good spot for him.
As long as it's still Wemby and you still have De'Aaron Fox and they don't have to give up Castle. I'm telling you, Castle is going to be that player in 3 to 5 years. He's going to be the real deal. He's got game. He's got hops. I think KD, those two teams I think would benefit, especially Houston. They needed some leadership. This Fred VanVleet did well for him and Dylan Brooks, but KD's still a bucket. He's unstoppable, and he does play when he has to. He plays good defense. That wingspan, long wingspan that he has, I think that would make them a serious contender now. They were second in the West this past year. Houston was.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna leapfrog OKC,
Man, right?
But I think it would help them get to the finals. I can see that.
Make a little push too as well. Yeah, I can see.
He's just so injury prone though.
Yeah,
is my question about KD.
Yeah, is his availability still there? Because he
right.
can, when he plays, he can get you 26 a night, average 26.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, he still plays defense, affects shots.
But would he be there come playoff time?
Right.
When that's when you really need him.
And now he's almost notorious as like a journeyman for real. He's just been bouncing around the league here lately.
Should have just stayed in Golden State, man. He'd have been.
His feelings was hurting Golden State.
Man,
they said his feelings was
hurt his feelings to the point that man had to leave.
He said, "I can't deal with this emotional distress." Got me out there, and that was an interesting question. I saw that, so I'm just like, is he still like that? But I can see him with other, especially
he's
like with
that
Wemby,
with pieces,
right?
Yeah.
He could be like that with pieces. So if he's off a night, you still got Wemby, you still got that, or if he goes to the Rockets, you still got those other players who can contribute and still get games without him. He'll just be like an added piece to them. And this is like more of a influencer side. This last little story. Do you know I Show Speed? He's like the Twitch superstar, very popular as far as just on the social media side. He has a big Twitch account, a big following. He's known for his speed. He had a race against Noah Lyles.
Okay.
He races like other celebrities and debunks how fast they really are. He actually had a race against Ashton Hall. Ashton Hall is a bodybuilder influencer. He went viral on social media here lately because he showed his morning routine, and he was doing some kind of just outlandish stuff where he gets up at 4 and then he dunks his head in a bowl of water, of ice cold water. I'll just show you some of his clips. For the people who follow him, they had a race here recently that kind of broke the internet because Ashton Hall, he always posts clips of him running in slow motion next to cars. He stays in Miami, and he has pretty decent speed. He used to play football. I Show Speed, pull up on him, pulled his card, beat him 4 times in a race. So that's been breaking the internet here lately as far as, is this, you got a bodybuilder influencer who promotes this fitness, and you got someone who's a Twitch superstar pretty much dusting him.
So he's not really an athlete, this I Show Speed?
He is, but he chose to do I Show Speed. He actually been on WWE. He's done a lot of things as far as like celebrity appearances on just different programs. He's actually in a commercial with Kevin Durant. I think I forgot, is it the Dick's Sporting Goods commercial? He's in that. I think Tom Brady was in that too as well. But he has a big following here. But
I'm gonna have to look him up now.
I used to be a former athlete, like as far as like high school, but then he took the direction of just social media and he took off from there. But yeah, that concludes your juicy news.
All right, son. Time for our pops, flops, and props.
Pops, flops, and props.
Oh, those pops, flops, and props. Who you popping, son? Who you
Pops is going to go to this NBA Finals series. I think this is a well-matched series. Like you said, it's been one of the best series I've watched here recently, and I've actually been tuned in and invested into it. Right now, they're 2 apiece, but I'm excited to see how the rest of the series plays out. But my pops is going to this NBA Finals series.
All right, mine is going to go to the DC Defenders. They beat the Michigan Panthers 58-34 in the title game of the XFL, played right here last night in the Lou. Who you flopping, son? Who you flopping?
Flops is going to go to the Colorado Rockies. Well, the Atlanta Braves beat them yesterday. I think we're still in the series with them, but they've had the worst start through 70 games this year since 1899. Right now, they're sitting at 13-57. So it's the flops to the Colorado Rockies.
That's rough.
They got good basketball, good football. Baseball is still trying to figure it out.
Mine goes to the Bengals. Once again, mishandling top talent. Frugal, I say, they run a $1 billion business like a lemonade stand.
Man, penny
pinching big time. Who you propping, son?
Props go to Kamaru Usman.
That's mine too.
Oh yeah, fight night he beats Jaquan Buckley, who's actually from the Lou. So that was a
I didn't know that. Dre sent that out last night.
So I was kind of like, okay, he's from the Lou too, but I had Usman winning. But this was his first win since 2021, I think.
That's correct.
Yeah, so yeah, this was his first win since 2021. Good for him as a fighter, especially when you're in combat fights. Just getting one win can get your mojo back. He's been trying to get it back ever since losing to Leon Edwards. He went through a hiatus, trying to get his groove back. But man, props to him.
Props to him, but he still doesn't seem like that fighter, does he?
He's not. That head kick.
That head kick took all his took his game away for real. And I applaud him, and he was my prop as well. Also to Thug Rose Namajunas for getting her another victory.
Yeah, Thug Rose. Yeah, shout out to Thug Rose.
All right, son. Now it's that time for us to tell someone to sit your ass down. Sit your ass
down.
Please. And thank you. Who you telling?
My sit your ass down is actually going to go to, man, the St. Louis Battlehawks, man. Because the championship the past 2 years has been in St. Louis. The reason why they put it in St. Louis is because the attendance that we were showing the love to the Battlehawks, that's why they put it here in St. Louis. The past 2 years it's been in there and we can't even make it.
Can't even get there.
We can't even get there. This is literally set up for us to have a home game for a championship. We want championships here in the Lou. We don't care what it is, the soccer, World Series. It doesn't really matter. UFL, whatever you got. Come on, Battlehawks. Y'all got to get it together. This is another time where the championship is here in the Lou and we can't even see our home team.
Yeah.
Man, sit your ass down.
That's a good one, son. Mine's going to go to Knicks general manager Leon Rose. What were you thinking? You let James Dolan, the owner, talk you into, hey, man, we need to fire Tibbs. Okay, then who we going to hire? Oh, man, I know you got somebody. You got Mike Malone. I know you got somebody
ready.
You'll
figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. But, we just went to the Eastern Conference Final. Yeah, I know, but Tibbs can't get us over the hump. But you got somebody. I know you got a plan. We'll find someone to get us over the hump, and we're going to win the championship. Man, sit your asses down. The way this has been handled, like you said, D, we should have known a week late, no more than a week later.
You should already had the guy
who
waiting.
The successor was going to be to Tom Thibodeau. Now we're going into this. The finals will probably be over, and we still won't know who the new coach of the New York Knicks will be. The way this has been handled, man, sit your asses down. And again, Leon, you let James Dolan trick you into thinking that
foolishness.
Man, I know you got somebody to who? Oh, you called Jason Kidd? Oh no, man. Yeah, we probably should have kept.
We probably should have kept Tibbs.
We probably should have kept Tibbs. I'm sorry I talked you into that. Leon, sit your ass down for listening to the owner. Sometimes you gotta. No, sir, we're not doing that. It wouldn't be beneficial for the team.
Man.
All right, son. Man, we had a lot to chop up. We went down some different roads and talked about some things that you're not hearing everywhere. That's why you come to me and D to get some of the sports talk that you don't hear everywhere else. Yeah, that's all I can say about that.
Absolutely. I agree. You come here not only for entertainment, but you get your information, you get your news, and
get that infotainment.
We like to be first on the scene.
On the scene,
here, you heard it first here.
Educate you. Yes, sir.
You like to hear it here first. So when you go into another broadcaster, you're like, oh, I already heard. That's old news. I heard it on the Me and D Pops and Son podcast.
And the first place I heard it, or one of the few places that I heard it. And as always, we thank you all so much for listening and watching the Me and D
Pops and Son
podcast.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
For that ass.
All the fathers out there, again, happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's
Enjoy
Day.
Your day.
Enjoy your day.
Enjoy your day. Get mentally right. Let's do this. We got to keep going. But this is our day to appreciate all the fathers who are in their kids' life, making an impact and striving to be better. Salute to all y'all. Happy Father's Day. Enjoy.
All right. Well said, son. And then close us out.
But until next time. I'ma holla at you.